Well, good afternoon, guys and gals. It's me, George, the Shade Tree Fix-A-Man, and some of you may recall that I had dug a hole over there in hopes of draining the water off so it wouldn't run into my garage. And, well, I had to fill it back in for the winter, and I'm not going to dig it out again. But I did all of the grading of that with my lawn tractor, or my Snowplow tractor. Yep, I finally got her running again. She's been all gone through. The carburetor was flooding over real bad, and it flooding over so bad it was filling the crankcase with oil and the exhaust, and if I could get it started, it would be squirting right out the stacks and leaking out wherever I had a hole. Anyway, I did a good going through. It needs a good bath right now. But I did a major going through on it. I adjust the valves. I replaced the carburetor, put a brand new carburetor on it. New air filter, new oil filter, changed the oil, replaced part of the fuel line. New spark plugs. Yeah. And so now she starts right up, and I'm going to start it for you. Of course, it's probably going to make a liar out of me here. Let me step up on here, and I'll set the choke, set the parking brake, and pull my choke lever back. Like a kitten now. Gotta love the old manual choke. That came off of some kind of a push mower. I'm not sure where now. I put the choke markers on it. And when you a snowplow normally has just that spring down in there, you know, right down there. See that big spring? So that when you hit a snowbank, the snowplow will tip forward. And I had it cranked up as tight as I could get it, and you can see it's actually bent the rod down there a little bit. So I've got to do some modifications, probably put a stiffer rod in there. But what I have done now is I wanted to use it for plowing dirt, and I didn't want that thing flopping over all the time. So I put this link in here between the frame and hooked it right over the top of the bolt that holds the spring in place. And you see what I used to make my link out of? Got this old vintage hook that I had laying around, and this big clevis. And then this is part of an old wrench that had all these different square size holes in it, and another chain link here, universal chain link, and then another big clevis. And that keeps it it has enough slop in it so it will give a little bit, but not much. And then I needed more weight for plowing, so I added this brake disc on there. That'll come off when I come to doing snow. I don't need that on there for plowing snow. But it works really good now. And yeah, she's ready for plowing snow. And we actually had our first spitting of snow last night. It ended up ultimately being freezing rain. And so yeah, that's part of what I've been doing this week. Let me close that door, and I'm going to take you over to the Goofy cart and show you something else I did this week. We're about ready to do some starting on this now. Not sure if I'll get to it today or not. But with our new carburetor, because I already showed you my throttle linkage, you don't see anything that happens in here because it's all inside. And you saw how that works. I'm still going to cut this piece here off and clean up these welds a little bit. But I also got my choke hooked up. And here's how that works. Let me see if I can make this work one-handed. So I have to, the way I have to do it right now, because I don't have the actual choke cable on there. This is a piece of choke cable. But see that? Get my thumb on there. And that operates my choke. And of course the actual choke cable, this piece will be coming off, that's just a test piece. The actual choke cable is hooked onto our dash panel already. And that's the subject of the next video, because I have my dash panel is all put together. And I am in the process of wiring it, and hopefully I'll get it wired by the end of the day and I'll be able to show it to you. And then by the first of the week, my plan is to take the body off, and I have to weld some nuts into the bottom of these posts here. I'm going to do some more welding on these, finish welding up these parts here and filling this in here. And I have to make some body mounts back here so that when I put my dash in, everything will be in place. I don't want things wiggling around, you know. So, yeah. How do you like them apples? Now, I want to show you something else that I just got. This just came in the mail today. Try and do this one-handed. See how this will work. This is door edge molding. Yeah. And I got this door edge molding to use on here to finish off these ragged edges. See if I can get this to go on. I haven't tried this before. Might be kind of hard to do today because this stuff probably likes being warmer than it is today. It's only 30 degrees at the moment. Yeah. Well, it's a good thing it's a tight fit because you don't want it coming off. But what do you think about them apples, huh? We'll have that chrome edge going all the way across there. And then I will see about maybe making it come across here too. And then we will have it going down here along the bottom edge there. Cover up all those rough cuts that we made, you know, kind of finish it off a little bit. But before I actually put this molding on, I'm thinking I may need to do some paint work. I'm not going to keep it green, and it does need some sanding. This has got a lot of surface rust underneath this green paint, because when I painted it green, oh, probably 6-7 years ago, and that green paint lasted pretty well. Seeing as how all I did was hose off the wheelbarrow before I painted it, and I just sprayed it on right over all the rust and everything. Some Rust-Oleum paint. I need to do some sanding, and I'm trying to decide now, but I'm thinking that I'm going to go with a traditional flat black. And I'm thinking my wheels are going to be red, and of course I got white lettered tires for the back. And I'm thinking that maybe what I should do is do some of my own white lettering on the front tires. You know what I mean? And we got chrome lug nuts for it, and we got chrome caps for these. I need to thread this in the rest of the way so I can cut these off. I got big chrome caps to go over those that I'd picked up a number of years ago. Yep. Those are all doodad things. Before we do the doodad things, though, But I do want to paint the body if I can before I put all that chrome edge stuff on. But maybe that won't happen right away. But I got to get the body so it's mounted solid anyway, because I can't mount the dashboard in there unless the body is mounted solid. And that's the very next thing that needs to happen. And I would like to mount the dashboard and have it in place and all hooked up so that when we do our next startup with our carburetor, everything will work from the dashboard. So that's what I'm thinking. And but your very next update will be to see the dashboard. So until next time, thank you for watching, for commenting, and subscribing. And as always, George always has something more to show that he forgets until the very last minute. And I have it temporarily sitting up on top of the motor right there. Can you see what that is right there? No, not that big knob. Keep looking. See that thing right there? You know what that is? Let me spin it around for you. Needs to be cleaned up. But that is a temperature gauge. And it's actually a radiator temperature gauge, but I'm hoping that it's going to become my head temperature gauge. I think it'll work. The way I have it mounted, I just have it stuck down into a hole right now, but I'm gonna tap, if I get in frame here, I'm gonna tap the end of this, and I think this is solid down in there, I hope. I'm gonna try tapping it so that I can actually thread it into this spot right here on the head. Right there. And then that will be sticking up like that, so I'll be able to watch the temperature on the head of my motor. How's them apples, huh? We'll see if it actually works or not, but I think it will. One more quickie update for you. Remember that our shifter linkage is all mounted on International Harvester spanner wrenches. Well, I had one more, and I decided to make my top chain guard out of that. And so there you have it. It will effectively keep our legs away from the chain. Of course, our legs will be coming down. Let me back up here. Our legs will be coming down over the top anyway, so it'll definitely protect because the chain's back in underneath the edge there. And with the little pins down in there, should the chain happen to jump off, they would stop it a little bit from flapping back at us, I think. But yeah, that'll do the job for us and give it a little bit more interest along the way, you know, tying things together. So now, I'm really done now. Thanks for watching. Bye now.